Brothers, it has been a very good 24 hours. First, we see that Hassan Piker gets banned from Twitch, and then Don Lemon doesn't just get arrested, he gets midnight raided, and he gets sent off to jail. So Don Lemon was arrested because he participated in a terror attack against the church. Now, I know that some people on the left want to redefine what terrorism is, but the point of the raid on the church was to terrorize the people there in the hopes of political change. That is terrorism. Anyone who says, well, no, terrorism is only when a big bomb goes off. No, terrorism is when you try to use fear and intimidation and threats of violence in order to get people to do what you want politically. And that is exactly what they were attempting to do. And now Don Lemon faces the reality of his crime. And this is what these people need to experience, that it is not fascism, it is not authoritarianism to hold people accountable for the things that they do wrong. The left has gone without being held accountable for so long that they misconstrue accountability with fascism. They're being held to account for the things that they do wrong. And like a spoiled child, they're kicking and screaming. But this is ultimately going to be very good for Don Lemon, and it's going to be very good for the country, because if people see that you are held accountable for your crimes, they're going to think twice. And for Don Lemon, maybe, and I know this is giving him way too much credit, maybe Don Lemon will finally understand that no, you don't have a right to go and storm a church and terrify children and elderly people. You have no right to do so, and if you participate in it, you're going to be held accountable. Maybe he's going to spread that on. I very much doubt it. This guy seems like an idiot. I think that the only solution here is Don Lemon spending the next 10 to 15 years in jail. Will that happen? Probably not, but we will take the victory of Don Lemon being arrested at all. So anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna watch the news cover Don Lemon being arrested, guys. It is a very good day. I'm glad that you're here. Very special event. Don the Demon, the degenerate sodomite, the lying, dishonest, pretend journalist, one of the stupidest people on the internet, and you know that's saying something, got arrested.
To a Fox News alert, journalist Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an anti-ICE protest at a church in St. Paul.
I've got to correct the record there. You said journalist Don Lemon. Don Lemon is not a journalist. Don Lemon has never been a journalist. Don Lemon was only allowed to call himself a journalist because he was using the protection of the name CNN, but he's not a journalist. Can we all agree that Don Lemon is not a journalist? I think that's fair.
Minnesota. Bill Malusha joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Charlie, good morning to you. Our colleague David Spunt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources just minutes ago, confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles just after midnight this morning at a hotel. This obviously all in connection with that storming of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota by that group of anti-ICE agitators. Now remember, the feds had gone to judges to try to get Don Lemon arrested before. They went to a magistrate judge in Minnesota who didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to a judge above him. He didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to an appeals court. They also decided not to sign off for an arrest warrant for him.
Well, it sounds like your mission is clear. You need to investigate each one of those judges, and ultimately you need to remove them from the bench at the bare minimum. At the bare minimum, you need to remove these judges from the bench because Don Lemon broke the law. He is not a journalist, but even if he was, even if you were to grant him the title of journalist, it does not give you carte blanche to break the law. And he did break the law. And in this moment, he's breaking the law. And it's on film. And so if you are a judge and you are running for you're running protection for somebody like this that is currently breaking the law, you too should be held accountable.
So there was experts who were predicting that perhaps the feds would go to a grand jury. It remains to be seen if that's what happened here, but we can confirm that Don Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents just after midnight Los Angeles time at a hotel. Now, typically, standard procedure with an arrest like this is the defendant will likely make their first court appearance sometime the same day. So there's a chance we may see Don Lemon make his first court appearance in Los Angeles sometime today. But obviously, this is going to grab all sorts of headlines. 3 other protesters from that church storming, have already been arrested, including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot.
That was a woman? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to let it sit there for a minute so that my chat has to suffer through looking at them. This is the face of the enemy. This is what we're dealing with. Really, really take it all in. And over here on the right looks like Meth Rasputin. This is the guy that was shouting at people, intimidating them. But I mean, look at the face in the middle. Look at the face in the middle.
Including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call him that. He's known as the Woke Farmer. Those were the 3 people that the feds had already arrested, but we have confirmed that Don Lemon has now been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of it that spread and drew widespread condemnation. The feds have been going after these people on FACE Act violations. So this is still breaking news. Once we get more details about the potential charges here, a court appearance, we'll, of course, update our viewers, guys.
Really appreciate it. Of course, if it was a grand jury that did indict him, that's pretty unimpeachable. Bill Melugin, thank you so much.
Yep.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Oh, the left will still find a way to impeach that. Oh, man. That was totally uncalled for. Don Lemon is a journalist. By the way, these same people that will try to lecture you on how this is a violation of the First Amendment are the very same people that would celebrate, they'd celebrate Tucker Carlson getting fired. These people, if they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all. Keep in mind, these people are perfectly fine with journalists that they don't like being fired, being canceled, being sued. Look at what they did to Alex Jones. What they did to Alex Jones. Remember that. Never forget how they celebrated what happened to Alex Jones, and then realize that it is not about any sort of principle. They're only using this fiction of the First Amendment to try to get what they want, to try to get you to capitulate. The answer should always be no. The answer should always be no, that you recognize what these people are and you tell them what they are. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing I have left to show you is a video of Don Lemon getting raided at midnight. So we have that footage now. We're gonna go straight there. FBI, open! Say that's a dramatization. That is fake news. That's not AI. You know, it's definitely what happened in Don Lemon's hotel room. But Don Lemon is arrested, and you know what? You know what's amazing? Some of you may not remember this, but Don Lemon was talking mad shit. Don Lemon was talking mad shit. And in sort of the same way as Maduro. Maduro was talking mad shit. and he got. But it's incredibly funny that this is the result. It's just like, you have to understand. I despise these people so much because they live in this fiction. They're some of the worst people in the world. Oh, by the way, I do want to show this very quickly. Shout out to Rory ZA. He did send this to me on Discord. Don Lemon named worst journalist of 2014. Don Lemon named worst journalist of 2014. Oh man, Don Lemon's gaffes this year offer a case study in how to choose words wisely. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations, Don Lemon. Nobody deserves it more. Man, the Hollywood Reporter did Don Lemon dirty. I mean, this is over 12 years ago, and he's still as much of a fuck up today. That is unbelievable. Thank you, Rory ZA, for the assist over on Discord. I appreciate it, brother. And yeah, unbelievable. The amount of failure from one man. And he thought that he was going to be some kind of like civil rights hero, Don Lemon did. He was going to be some kind of civil rights hero by going out there and completely and totally violating what the First Amendment is actually about. He went in and stormed a church on a Sunday while they were in service, and he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He was giddy about it. We've all seen the video. We've all seen the different angles. He was giddy about it. And look at the body language. Look at this. Don Lemon is leaning in. This guy is leaning away. Don Lemon is the aggressor. He thinks that he's in the right. I'm morally correct. I can do this. No, Don. No, you can't. And so to wrap up this video, I'm going to play a song. I played it at the beginning of the stream, but I want to put it on the video. I want everyone to be able to appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this song is called Midnight Raid on Don Lemon.
From the frozen steeples of Minnesota, candles crack and tremble in the pews. Shadow on the stained glass, burning amber eyes, whispers crawling through the wooden roofs. Don Lemon in a crown of cinders, carving sigils in the chapel floor. Horde of howling phantoms at his shoulders, pushing at the sacramental door. But across the plains a siren cuts a silver line through the dark. Badges gleam like little halos Lemon, drag the demon from his throne. Every warrant signed in thunder, every oath carved into stone. From the heartland to Los Angeles, justice rides relentless flame. Midnight raid on Don Lemon, heroes call his cursed name.
They wouldn't dare do that to a mosque or synagogue. It's socially acceptable to insult Christianity.
Spotlights blaze at the stroke of 12. Glass explodes in a silver swell. Hearts like anvils, nerves like wire, marching straight through brimstone fire. Claws of law on his wrists of ash, cold steel cuffs in a blinding flash. From the chapel that he tried to claim to the squad car march with his shame, his shame. Midnight raid on Don Lemon, drag the demon from his throne. Every warrant signed in thunder, every oath carved into stone. From the great white drift of Minnesota to the coast of gilded blame. Midnight raid on Don Lemon, law and steel erase his Horde dispersed like smoke at sunrise. Church bells ring across the land. Heroes of the badge keep marching, sword and statute in their
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like that song. The song is titled Midnight Raid on Don Lemon. Yes, I will be putting that solo on the YouTube channel with a nice little thumbnail, accoutrement, like this image here. Yeah, so Don Lemon was raided by law enforcement. He is currently in jail. How long will he be in jail? Who knows? We will see. But you know what? It's a win. And we take those over here. We understand not everything is going to happen all at once. We understand that there are times where, things are going to be a little bit slower. But at the end of the day, Don Lemon has been arrested. Hassan Piker is banned from Twitch. And you know what? We're seeing a change even in Minnesota. There's a huge change. Law enforcement is actually doing their job. Probably because they were afraid that Trump was going to come in and arrest them. But yeah, they seem to be doing their job at the moment. So we take these wins. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that you were all here with me to share in this beautiful moment. You got Andrew Jump with the £10 donation. It says, they wouldn't dare do that to a mosque or synagogue. It's socially acceptable to insult Christianity. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. They view it as socially acceptable to raid a church, and they fear no ramifications, which that should change. If you are a terrorist and you are going to a church and you are going to try to harm people or intimidate them or harass them, you should expect to meet resistance. Heavy resistance. Physical resistance. You should expect that at the bare minimum, you are going to be dragged out of there. But actually, because you pose a threat and people don't know who you are, and given how violent the left is, and given the amount of church shootings from transgenders and other mentally ill people on the left, if you're going to raid a church, you should go there prepared to lose your life. And that's not me being hyperbolic. That's not me inciting or calling for anything. That is simply a reality that in this day and age, if you enter into a church with the intention to do harm, to intimidate kids, to yell in people's faces, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what you're about. The left is violent. They're radical. They're insane. You should go in there with the expectation that you're going to lose your life. I think that is the bare minimum. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.